Welcome back, you gigantic flowers dorks. I'm glad that you could join us for more flowers in the summertime sunshine. Hope you're doing well. It sounds like the characters currently at the heart of our story, the lovely Erica and Chidori, are starting to finally click a little more tangibly, and that's nice. That's nice to see. Maybe they can even broach being friends someday, but well, we won't really find out until we start doing the visual novel thing and pressing the advance button on text boxes. So let's go ahead and see what we can do about that. We are still neck deep in chapter 2 now. What does it have in store for us? At Sister Basquiat's request, I'd tried to ingratiate Takasaki to the class, but the end of term examinations are upon us. Ah, it's cute! That's cute! I love it when visual novels do things with sprites. It's just add a little bit of extra character. That little push to the side was very, very good. Oh, she is such a saint. Shirahane smiles under the twins' barrage of questions. She looks both a little put out and at the same time like she's really enjoying herself. Perhaps she likes having others rely on her. On the other hand, the president, who's best suited to helping people out with studying and stuff, can't keep up! This popularity over here is about as popular as a real president right now. Meaning she's got what, like a 39% approval rating? She's like a flower on a lofty peak, somewhere just beyond reach. Or rather, it can seem as though she'll wilt at the softest of touches. Because Shirahane is so hard to approach, the only ones who go to her for help are the Sasaki sisters. Oh, yeah, I'd be lost here. This is the part during study where I would just start crying, and hopefully that's enough to get me through it. My Amitie is scribbling furiously and muttering to herself. Of course, there's no one else around. She's sticking with stealth study. Yeah, I don't imagine you studying much with other people. Seeing all my classmates knuckling down, I don't really feel like I have a choice. Oh, that's a bummer. That's like the only days you get off. Oh, that's right. We also have Saturdays off, but since we have chapel all morning, it's essentially, it works out to be a half day. The only full day off we have is Sunday, the Sabbath. Yeah, I'd like to know too. Trust me, I was just as bad at this stuff. The threat of those precious days off being lost to supplementary classes is enough to make even me get serious. I approach Takasaki, who's glaring down at her textbook with narrowed eyes, and peer at the notes she's scribbling. Yeah, I imagine she's probably lagging pretty behind in studies right now. Entertainment business kind of keeps folks away from schoolish type activities. Activities of a scholastic nature. Watching my Amitie partner stumble at the very first step, I end up showing her a bit of sympathy. Takasaki is glaring daggers. Third best? That's pretty damn solid. Her eyes take on a hint of fear at my proposal. She rubs at them and then shakes her head slightly.
花火師さんは私に苦手意識を持っている。差し向かいで教えてもらえるわけがないわ。
She's just so straightforward with everything. I really, like, at first it was really weird and maybe a little off-putting, but now it's just like, you know, I just kind of like it when somebody can speak to me in as straight of a manner as she does.
少しは相手が見えるようになったんだな。だが委員長は性善説の人だからな。頼めばうなずいてくれるだろうよ。性善説
She gets hung up on the strangest things. Despite a bit of grumbling about her lack of understanding, I start to explain.
もう知っておっさんが人間の本性は基本的に善であるって決めたんだよ。儒教の中心概念。
She's about to get real deep on us right now.
へえって興味ないのかよ。お前が聞いたんだろうが。もう一つ対になるのが性悪説。荀子が唱えた。人の性は悪なりってさ。そう。私は荀子の方に。
Just out and out. Yes, I think all humans are trash bags. She butts in with her thoughts before I can finish my explanation. Well, I suppose I'm on his side too.
だから委員長に。
I glance over in her direction. It looks like it'll be difficult to break through the wall of people surrounding her.
独学で学んだ方が早い。
There you go. A little bit of teamwork makes the dream work.
ええ、だから邪魔しないで。
She dismisses me and goes back to glaring down at the textbook.
面倒くさい空気を部屋に持ち込まなければ何も言わねえよ。
I give her a clear warning. But she comes back in the same maddening mood. Of course she does.
なあおい。何？今昼食中だぞ。教科書なんて無粋なものは持つな。
Oh, what are we eating now? What do we got? I can't really tell what that is. It's some kind of soup, maybe. Can't really tell. We got some big ass shrimp going on though. The only time I get to choose my food in any real sense is lunchtime. I don't want boring things like schoolwork intruding on my fun time.
放っておいて。お前はつまらない教科書を開いてつまらないサラダを食ってるんだからいいけどな。こっちは久しぶりの天ぷらなんだ。楽しみたいんだよ。
Fried in tempura batter and spread before me are shrimp, whitefish, green beans, and a shrimp and onion fritter, as well as miso soup and pickled vegetables. My God, girl, you're eating good! Wow! That's just like the whole spread. Pack it in, girl! There's also a glistening mound of white rice. It's a real feast. I don't want it to be ruined by her gloomy attitude.
あなたはあなたで勝手に食べればいいでしょ。
Not if you're sitting here with your books ruining my food mood.
お前有名な言葉を知らないのか？何を食べるかじゃなく、誰と食べるかだ。陰気のやつと食べたら何食っても美味しくなくなるぜ。
I think you were going for gloomy Gus there. I think that's what you were. It's probably what you were looking for. I throw this back at her and reach for the fish tempura. First, I want to savor it without any condiments like salt or dipping sauce. The crispy coating, which is just the right thickness, crunches appealingly as I bite into it. A mouth-watering smell wafts up toward my nostrils. I savor the complementary texture of the batter, fried to perfection, the soft, flaky fish, the sweet taste of it all. It's absolute bliss. Yeah, never mind. Never mind. You're not spoiling this. Yeah, like if I had a nice spread like this, yeah, you wouldn't be ruining it just by reading a book. I'd probably just tune you right the hell out.
美味しそうじゃない。
Wanna bite? She's eyeing up my tray of food enviously. With great reluctance, I pick up a shrimp, dip it in a little matcha salt, and hold it out to her. My amitié partner bites into it without a word, nor any hesitation.
これ美味しいわね。
Although I'm used to it by now, I still feel a bit embarrassed about feeding her like this. There's something sensual about the movement of her crimson-stained lips when she eats.
しかもエビだしな。フランクフルトなら。
Calm down! Man, Rika is just like, she's a little horn dog. Somebody's gone like full barrel into kind of experiencing their sexuality and like some light horniness here. Like Suo in the first game was like, she do be looking, but she's, you know, kind of just figuring it out. Whereas I think Erika is like in the midst of like discovering like, oh, okay, this is gay and also kind of horny. The image makes me grin. Takasaki looks at me suspiciously, but goes ahead and gets out her notebook. She quickly jots down her personal thoughts.
お気に召したようだな。なんだ、天ぷらも食ったことないのかよ。確かに油はスタイル維持の天敵かもしれないけどさ。
あるわ。ただ前に食べたものより美味しかったから加えたのよ。
She stops writing and tilts her head, munching on a pickle to cleanse my palate. I ask her what's the matter.
今食べたものだけど、それって洋食？
I'd known she was indifferent when it came to food, but this is such a ridiculous question. For a moment, I just stare at her in amazement.
はあ？お前バカじゃねえの？洋食なわけないだろ。どうやったら勘違いできるんだよ。
そう、違うのね。
Oh, she seems a little embarrassed.
当たり前だっての。
It's battered shrimp.
洋食って和食に決まってるだろうがよ。
She has such a cute laugh. It's adorable.
勘違いだわ。私は洋食か聞いたの。
もうやめろって。
笑うのをやめて。やめなさい。
Takasaki is glaring at me, her face flushed with embarrassment. Now that I know why she always squints like that, though, I can pretty much brush it off.
勝手に笑ってなさい。
お前それは虎の子だぞ。
Oh! My shrimp and onion fritter crunches satisfyingly between her teeth as she bites into it. The sound alone is enough to get anyone drooling. Damn! Erika, you fucked around and found out. Ripper's Fritters.
あまり桜エビは好きな味ではないわね。
食い物の恨みは恐ろしいって言葉を知らないのか。
Hey man, I just like the tone of that being how that's translated. Hey man. Takasaki closes her notebook, spears one portion of a boiled egg quartered into the plate, and holds it out for me to eat. Oh, I guess she means to reciprocate. That's adorable.
食べさせるのはよくても。
Nah, come on. Come on, this is bonding. Remember, food is the social lubricant. I'm averse to being doted upon. In moments like these, speed is key. Once you start overthinking it...
そう、卵は嫌いなの。
She abruptly pops it into her own mouth. Damn, you missed your shot. And she takes a sip of water. I try to calm my pulse, which is really racing for some
あ
reason.
なたはテスト勉強はしなくていいの？
I frown, bewildered by her question for a moment before she shoves a textbook at me.
聖書か。
Oh, that's one real quick way to just ruin the mood of a nice meal.
そう、ご教科は得意のようだけど、こちらも堪能なのかしら。
Tell you what, if we study together, I might be. To be completely honest, I'd forgotten.
そうか。ご教科だけじゃないんだよな。
I have laughably little memory of what we've learned in Bible study so far. I've always thought it criminal to waste brain cells on things I'm not interested in. Big same! Nah, I'm kidding. I actually really like wasting a lot of brain cells on things I'm typically not interested in. Tell you what, you don't host a podcast for 8 years and have to like find yourself actually invested in things that like you're not initially interested in. You can't make a podcast work for that long if you don't invest. So, but now I'm starting to wonder if that was foolish of me.
うちの2番目の姉が言っていたよ。
何？
冴えない時間を一緒に過ごしたやつが友達だってな。資源だよな。
I think that is very, very wise. Yeah, like anybody that you can just like chill out and maybe not be doing anything whatsoever. And like you don't even need to be talking. You just like, hey, we're just chilling. Those are the best friends that you're gonna have.
それって一緒に勉強しよう
We are
ってこと？
two boring bitches. Let's study together. She looks dubious, and yet she reaches for the notebook and fiddles restlessly with her pen.
2人でやればなんとかなる。
I say that, but one of us is kind of a weak student, and the other doesn't even remember being told what would be on the test. Well, if you put both of those together, I think you're gonna get at least like C plus, B minus.
無理か。
I trail off. The silence stretches on and Takasaki goes back to her previously forgotten salad. I also start on the shrimp I'd been so looking forward to, but it's gone cold. When tempura cools down, the oil makes it go soft and... Oh god, yeah, it's really not that great. Yeah, you gotta get on that shit fast.
まだ死ぬ気はない。だが、もし死ぬとしたら、時と場所は自分で選ぶ。
どうしたの？おかしくなったの？
わしは舞い降りたっていう映画のセリフだよ。時と場所を選ぶためにも戦わなくちゃならないもんな。
I'm thinking to myself that my only option is to have someone tutor me. I'm not good at asking people for things, but in this case it's unavoidable. Picking up a piece of cold tempura with my chopsticks, I consider the possible candidates. Yo, we writing. Somebody writing. I'm the one who decided that I needed someone to tutor me in my least favorite subject. And since I'm loath to ask people for things, it stands to reason that I'd go to the person I have the easiest time approaching, my bookworm buddy. There's nothing unusual in that. However...
どうしたね？難しい顔しているぞ。
Wait, is girl here? Is she here? Also, of course she's here. Why wouldn't she? Like, of course. When I look at the text on screen, of course Yuzuriha is here. Who else is going to ask that question? My upperclassman grins cheerfully. She has a unique talent for coming out with things that would normally constitute sexual harassment without it coming off as crass.
自分は重い方なんで、あの日ならもっと人相が悪くなってますよ。っていうか、なんでいるんですか?
Yatsushiro Senpai flaps the collar of her summer uniform to cool herself down.
おかしなことを言うな君は。
Man, it do be hot in here too. I'm gonna be very unprofessional. I'm gonna turn a fan on for a bit. I have to plug it in here. We are like right in the midst of spring now. And it's a little warmer at night than I'm, used to of it having been for the last 4 months. So, there we go. That feels much better. Hopefully that doesn't blow on the microphone, but I've got a new windscreen on it, so it should be fine.
先輩には人。
ん？それとも何か？聖書を教えてくれというのは立てない。
Do you want some private study sessions? God, these of course! The two best characters in the game are like interacting now, and it's just like a matter of who's going to be the one to like knock the other off the high horse first. Like who's gonna flinch here? She smiles suggestively at me, still fanning her chest, then leans forward.
やめてくださいよ。佐々木姉妹じゃないんだ。先輩がやったらシャレにならない。
Damn! I avert my eyes from the mounds of her breasts visible through her open collar and think back a little on how this all came to be. Right. Yesterday after class, I'd asked Shirahane, who was working in the library, to help me with Bible study.
私でよければ。
Ever the angel.
そうか、よかった。お前に断られたらどうしようかと思ったよ。エリカさんの頼みを断るなんてしないわ。おい、また。大垣さんには八代先輩の時に貸しがあるって言われていたものね。
That's right. I had said that when I helped her out back then. The Yuzuriha Yatsushiro incident. The person suspected of being the culprit was... Yeah. She must have been thinking back on the same thing as me. Her demeanor had been no different to usual, but now an incomparably sad expression falls over her countenance. Tears well up in her eyes, threatening to spill forth at any moment. My chest constricts violently, like I've run out of air.
あいつのことは。
これは18歳未満には見せられない状況かな。
Yeah! Of course! This girl just always knows how to make an entrance. An incongruous voice dispels the heavy mood.
放課後の社用の図書室で見つめ合う乙女たち。絵にはなるが、なるべくなら人目に。
You should have saw what happened when two students were here and the moon was out. Wow! It got pretty crazy in here. This would have even made you blush, I imagine.
何もしようとしてませんよ。
本当かい？僕は性差別者ではない。
Of course she's not. This is no homophobe. Why would Yuzuriha of all people be a homophobe? I feel like she's like the most out and out gay person in this story. Like there is nobody I feel like more 100% sure of who they are than Yuzuriha. I like as some might offer that Mayuri, but like Mayuri's not really like I still don't 100% believe that she's accepted herself at this point. I think that she's still not, 100% there. But Yuzuriha absolutely 100% is just super gay. She's got the super gay. Wrestling with the tightness in my chest, I begin talking with the suspicious Yatsushiro senpai, and as a result,
君から頼んできたんじゃないか。
思い違いですよ。
wrong idea. I was so flustered. It's certainly possible that what I said could have been taken that way. I just wanted to wrap Shirahane up in my arms and wipe that sad look off of her face. Oh my god, you are such an adorable little angel muffin baby sweetie pie. Ah.
思い違いだ。
ん？何をつぶやいているんだい？もしかして僕の胸を盗み見ることに夢
This
中？
girl knows how to just lay it in.
先輩と一緒だといいことが一つだけありますね。
何かな？
落ち込む暇もない。
そりゃ傑作だ。
Shirahane and Takasaki, who were also studying, look over curiously at the sound of Yatsushiro senpai's laughter.
白羽さん、この一文だけど、これは誰に対して告げた言葉なの？はい、それは。
Although she's still sending anxious glances my way, Shirahane diligently answers Takasaki's question. We decided to study in our bedroom, but we hadn't had enough desks and we had to go grab some from an empty room. We sat by the beds while Shirahane and Takasaki were over by the bookshelf. Takasaki suddenly shifts and I find myself watching Shirahane, now visible across the desk from her. As far as I'm concerned, my bookworm buddy's the...
どうしたね八重垣くん。気もそぞろじゃないか。
What? Who's distracted?
いえ、こちらも勉強に戻りましょうか。
I open up my textbook to the section that will appear on the test. The phrasing used in the Bible is pretty annoying. Pretty annoying, and that it can be interpreted multiple different ways. But when it comes to our exams, there should be just one right answer. I look up to ask Yatsushiro Senpai for her opinion, and
何か顔についていますか？
いや、君と君のアミティアは面白いなと思ってね。
what's so funny about it? I suppose, from the outside, our double act could be pretty amusing.
ですかね。こちらとしては面白いだけじゃ済まない。共同生活だからいろいろと大変です。
Take my wife! Please!
そうなのかい？
一度料理部で話した感じで察しているんじゃないですか。性格的に合わないってのは。
After being so honest with my feelings, her response hits me like a bucket of ice water.
僕はそうは思わないな。
She fiddles with her silvery bangs.
バスキア教諭にも言われましたけどね。私としては違和感しかありませんよ。
違和感。違和感か。八重垣くん、違和感というのはね、似ているからこそ感じるものなんだよ。
Yeah, there's a whole lot of them clashing because they're very similar, and I think that they actually hate that they see a lot of themselves in the other because they don't want somebody else to be that way. So it's just like, it makes it really hard to reach out when you're both like this.
はい。
違和感というのは何かしら共通する部分が多くあるから感じるものなんだ。似ているからこそ同じじゃない部分が気になるのさ。
It's a fitting explanation, but looking over at my amitié partner who's concentrating too hard on her studies to pay any attention to our conversations, I'm loath to agree.
まあなんだ。せっかくのアミティア同士なんだ。上手に付き合うといい。だが生々しい関係まで行くとめんどくさいことになるだろうけど。
The, next level. At her joke, I find my eyes drawn unconsciously to Shirahane, who is writing away studiously.
八代先輩は性差別者でないと言ってたと記憶してますが。
僕個人はそうだ。だがここはキリスト教の学び屋だからね。
Yeah, it's like, this is something that's absolutely going to come up in an all-girls school. They can't, you can't just think it's not. It's obviously still taboo in, like, Christian teachings or whatever, but, yeah, like, it's something you've kind of got to really face down here, is that, like, if you're having these feelings, you're gonna be a little bit of friction there. To be honest, I don't know much about that sort of thing, though I've heard it said often enough of how big a deal they make out of virginity. God, it's so weird. Some people are just so amazingly weird about virginity. Jesus Christ, it's so uncomfortable at times. Treating same-sex attraction unfairly is starting to be seen as discriminatory. Hey, we're progressive here in Flowers Land. She mutters, to no one in particular. I feel a strange unease, seeing the usually hyperactive Yatsushiro senpai looking so uncharacteristically glum.
いや、白羽と高坂のことを思っているんだろう。
I'm sure she's aware of the situation between them, but then why would she bring up this topic with Shirahane in the same room, even if she's keeping her voice lowered?
疲れた顔をしているね。
いや、八代先輩の方が。
指導してかれこれ1時間余りだ。リフレッシュする必要があるな。よし。
She leaps to her feet and, ignoring the startled looks from the others, leans in close to me.
先輩!
She suddenly lifts me up in her arms and I let out something close to a shriek.
ようやく年下らしいところを見せたな。
Grinning at me like the cat that got the cream, my own trademark look, she carries me over to the bed bridal style. Damn!
まさか予行練習でもするって言うんですか？
まさかと言っ
Oh my god! Oh no! I think Erica's about to lose real big time. I think she's about to just... You done again. She's spending this whole damn story just getting one-upped real hard, isn't she? It's hard to tell when this one's joking. Hey, don't look at me like that. I glare back at Shirahane and Takasaki, feeling my cheeks flush hotly. She lays me down on the bed, then clambers on top of me.
さすがに笑えなくなってきた。
Okay, if this is a joke, it's gone a little far.
ならどうする？
Well, I guess that's a good point.
このまま蹴り上げますよ。
Yeah. She laughs for a while, seemingly tickled by my off-color joke, then slides her. Uh-oh.
うつ伏せになってもらう。
I need what? Okay. Need you face down, please. Well, I do look like the lady doth protest quite a bit. You've lost! It's over! Yatsushiro won! Era Yagaki and nothing! No, I don't. In this situation, is she really losing? She turns me over, setting herself on top of my thighs. I can feel her soft weight of her breasts on me.
地の利を得たぞ。
Yeah, I think you won!
何のつもりなんです？
乗ってくれないんだな。マッサージだよ。疲れた
There
顔
you
をしていた
go.
じゃ
Nothing
ない
wrong with a nice massage. I think everybody's okay with a nice massage. I'm relieved to know she's not planning anything outrageous. Wait, hang on. A massage?
よくサッカー終わりの弟へマッサージをやっていたんだ。僕の腕はなかなかのものだ
It's
よ。
good with her hand. Let her work, Erica. Don't worry. Like, look, massages are awesome. Massages from cute girls are even better. Look, you were going to live. You were going to live one of the teenage dreams quite early into your journey. Go ahead, let it happen. It's fine. This will be great. Everybody loves a good massage.
別にこうってなんか。
No, yeah, you definitely don't sound tense at all. She reaches out a hand and runs it down my shoulder blade, then applies a good amount of pressure.
だいぶ凝っているね。読書で目を酷使しているのだろう。
いや、そりゃそうなんですが。
She presses her knuckles into the area below my shoulder blade and I feel something loosen. I didn't think it was that tense, but under this exquisite application of pressure. Oh, yeah, just surrender. Surrender yourself. Just enjoy. Pleasure clouds my mind and words of acquiescence slip from my mouth.
だろう？僕のマッサージは好評なんだ。たまにネリーにもしてやっていてね。
コミカド先輩にもですか？
ああ、あいつも気苦労が多いからね。
After she's finished loosening up my shoulders, she moves down my back and sides. Aware that she may end up brushing my chest, I instinctively tense up.
そっちはあまり凝っていませんから。
いや、上半身の筋力が波とは違うね。やはりか。おっと、これは微妙な話題だったか。
今さら気にしちゃいませんよ。
Reassured, she sets about carefully kneading from the top of my back down to my waist, focusing on my spine. With every press of her thumbs, I can feel my muscles relaxing.
にも落ち着かないんだよな。
Yeah, I imagine you do. Shirahane and Takasaki are watching our impromptu massage session with wide open eyes. I imagine they're just like, what the hell's going on over there? What y'all doing? Y'all having a good time? I mean, do we need to... Do y'all need us to leave? Shirahane and Takasaki are watching our impromptu massage session with wide open eyes. And then there's the fact that Yatsushiro Senpai's butt is pressed fast against my thighs. I can feel it clearly through the thin pleats of my skirt, the touch of her soft, supple buttocks. We're both girls, but still, I can't help but think back to our brief conversation about homosexuality earlier.
そろそろいいです。だいぶ
Yeah, you sound real relaxed. Real relaxed and settled in. No stress, no tension.
そうかい。まあ、背筋はほぐしたが。
I'm relieved when the sensation of her butt disappears.
足の方もやっておこうか。
I mean, might as well. I quickly shift away as her hands brush my thighs. No, they're dangerously close to my crotch.
いや、本当に大丈夫ですから。
そうかい。存外凝っている気もするんだがね。
I'm sure Yatsushiro Senpai didn't mean anything bad by what she said, but Shirahane makes a shocked sound and I look over at them. Shirahane is just peeking out from between her. Imagining her having her hands over her eyes and then just like opening a gap in her fingers to just look anyway is fucking peak Suo right now. Shirahane is peeking out from between her fingers, her cheeks red, while Takasaki is watching us intently with narrowed eyes. Takasaki's just like about to pull out the popcorn. It's like, nah, y'all, go ahead.
私を見るな。瞬きしろ。
At least blink!
どうしたんだい？もしかして
You want in on this
僕と
action?
八重垣くんの
There's more to go around!
焼いたのかい？
そうじゃなくて。
そうじゃないとは寂しいな。スオくんは僕にとって特別な存
This
在
girl, Suo, Yuzumi, I'm gonna need you to horn it down a little bit.
先輩、人の上で口説くのはやめてください。
No, she's insatiable. She chuckles, and I feel a soft pressure on my thighs again. While Shirahane is dithering nervously, Takasaki takes charge.
次は講師を変えて指導するというのはどうでしょう。
She makes a suggestion.
おう、スオくんの教えでは不服かね？
いえ、せっかくなので二階屋の会の会長にも教えてもらいたいのです。
なるほど。多面的な捉え方もできるようになるか。採用しよう。
She readily accepts the idea and pulls away from me. A sigh of relief escapes my lips as the soft heat I had been feeling on my thighs leaves along with the pressure of her body. I also sit up and, before she can try anything else uncalled for, move myself from the edge of the bed. My amitié partner brings my wheelchair over as usual.
初めてお前がアミティエでよかったと思っている。
I tell her weakly.
ティーロワイヤルって知ってる？
Can't say I have. Is that like tea with cheese? The president asks me this as I am sipping at my favorite Russian tea, and I shake my head.
紅茶の飲み方の一つでね。こうやってスプーンに角砂糖を乗せて。
Been a while since we've had gazebo time. Along with my other classmates who have been invited to the tea party, I watch as she demonstrates.
そして角砂糖の上に
We got
ブランデー
brandy?
をちょっぴり注ぐの。そしてマッチで火をつけると。
Yo, why we got brandy out here?
ついて
Who gave Rika the brandy?
あとはお砂糖が溶けたら紅茶に溶かして飲むのよ。
Although she doesn't actually show us the part with the brandy and the flame. Aww. Was kind of hoping.
面白そうな入れ方だな。ええ、紅茶にブランデーの香りを加えて楽しむ飲み方なの。大人よね。
You would know, wouldn't you? The taste of brandy? You want to appreciate the very mature flavor of brandy? She makes it sound as though she very much approves of drinking alcohol, and I wonder if the excitement of finishing the end-term exams has gone to her head too.
酒で酔っ払って紅茶の味なんてわからなそうだけどな。
火でアルコールは飛ぶからその心配はいらないらしいわ。コーヒーでも同じことができるそうよ。そっちはカフェロワイヤルというそうなの。
へえ、私としてはそっちの方が好みかな。
The president, who's firmly in the tea camp, gives a cry of mock frustration.
その調子じゃテストの結果良かったみたいだな。
受け取る時に慌てないくらいには。八重垣さんはどうなの？
We've finished the end-of-term exams and have already got back to our graded papers. I unconsciously find myself looking for Takasaki.
なんとかなったよ。聖書だけが何だったが赤点は免れた。
It seems that Takasaki, who'd been in the same boat as me before the tests, just scraped by herself. She managed to pass all 5 core subjects as well.
で、佐々木姉、妹ともおとなしいが、お前らはどうだったんだ？赤点取って補習三昧確定か？
いきなり何を言うのかね。
Damn! They got dumpstered. They got dumpstered in the exams.
そうです。人権蹂躙ですよ。
お前らの何を蹂躙したってんだよ。
蹂躙？エッチな響きだね。
Haha! You said a word that sounds naughty! You're so good, Ichigo. Don't ever change. Ichigo elicits a laugh from our classmates as she wiggles her hips. No one's sneering. It's warm laughter, without any trace of malice. They're a generous crowd.
赤点は取っていないですよ。
Oh, you did it! Good job!
スオちゃんと一緒に勉強してたんだからね。
Yeah, it sounds like that study/massage session paid off.
むしろ成績は上がりました。八重垣ちゃんはなぜ赤点を取ったのだと思ったのです。
Do we look entirely stupid to you?
そりゃあ
I pluck one of the colorful macarons sitting in front of the Sasaki twins and toss it into my mouth.
犬が餌を食べないときは病気にかかっているって言うだろ。
おお、犬扱いですか。
I could see it. I think she started like this. What does Erika see everybody as dogs?
ワンちゃんは可愛いからいいけど、勉強に根を詰めすぎたから終わった今でも調子が悪いんだよね。
I'd give them both head pets like a dog, though. They deserve it. You did good. You passed. Nice work.
何せ口を開けたら英単語がこぼれ落ちそうで。
I saw an episode of Paranoia Agent like that. It was really, really wild imagery. Kid goes into the bathroom and just really stressed from everything. It's a whole thing. Paranoia Agent is really wild, but there's definitely a scene where a kid goes into a bathroom at a school and it just starts vomiting up stuff that he learned in textbooks. It was pretty striking. It's one of those scenes that always kind of stuck with me. Go watch Paranoia Agent. It's really good. A few of the other girls nod their agreement. The younger Sasaki finally picks up a bright orange macaron and takes a bite. A smile immediately spreads across her face. Sweets make everything better.
でも期末テストも終わったし、週末には収穫祭もあるから、そこまでには復唱しとかないとね。
収穫祭？
It's the first I've heard of it. The same must go for some of the others as well, as we all look on at the president.
7月のこの時期に行われる学院の年間行事の一つよ。
Well, something had to happen in this chapter. There had to be some kind of major school event. That's how these games go, typically.
収穫した野菜を食べるってこと？
ええ、今でも農場で収穫した野菜をいただいているでしょ。だから食べ物に対する感謝の心、命の大切さの理解、食の意義や 大切さの理解を目的に開催されるの。
There's another siren, dude! I know you probably can't hear it because the game audio is better balanced now, but there's another damn siren. They know we're playing gay video games in here. They're trying to take me to gay baby jail.
へえ、まあご立派なこったが楽しいのかね。
I mean, eating vegetables is fun. If we get to eat vegetables, I'm here. Let's do it. Even after the president's little sermon, I can't see any significance in it besides eating vegetables together with everyone. I can't help but wonder why the Sasakis are so excited about it. As if sensing my doubts, the younger sister spreads her arms wide and addresses me.
収穫祭ではトウモロコシが振る舞われるのですよ。焼いてよし、茹でてよしです。
That sounds good.
ああ、焼きとうもろこしは確かにうまそうだな。
My taste buds recall the flavor of the barbecued corn I ate at a nighttime stall that my sister once took me to. That wonderfully sweet aroma, the corn slathered in soy sauce and slightly charred. Man, that sounds really good. The fragrant explosion of taste as I sank my teeth into it.
そう、それについにスイカ様まで食べられるんだ。
Gotta have some watermelon. It's not summer in Japan if you ain't got watermelon. My fantasy is interrupted just as I'm about to take my first bite and I steal a macaron from in front of her in retaliation. This one's the color of green tea.
そういえば農場での世話にスイカも入ってたっけな。ようやく食べられるところまで来たのか。
自分で育てたスイカを食べられるとか贅沢だよ。トウモロコシも楽しみだし、体調を戻した上でお腹を減らしとかなきゃ。
She grabs a macaron and stuffs the whole thing into her mouth, and I wonder if she hasn't recovered simply through talking about it. There's another laugh from the group.
ま、高崎のやつにも後で教えておいて
I
よ。
think that would be the nice thing to do. I look around at the other participants, even though I know I won't find her among them.
白羽。
Spotting my bookworm buddy sipping tea by herself, a little removed from the circle, I push my wheelchair over to her. Teacup in hand, she's gazing out at the cool amber surface of the water with a sorrowful look on her eyes. Her lips seem to be forming words, and I strain my ears to make out what she's saying.
そう、あの時も。
Her voice is barely above a whisper, and I can't catch it at all.
よう彼女、暇だったら一緒にお茶でもどうだい？八重垣さん。
My banter must have flown right over her head. No, perhaps she didn't even hear me. She's staring at me like she's just awoken from a dream.
収穫祭の話で盛り上がってるみたいだぜ。白羽も混ざってこいよ。そうですね。
Her mind's obviously off somewhere far away.
やっぱりこいつ。
Seeing Shirahane struggle with this pain, I don't know what I can say. Man, she wants to help so bad. You can just feel it. It really, like, you can sort of feel her pain in not being able to, like, do anything, you know, tangible to kind of help her out. The days tick by and the weekend arrives. The harvest festival that the twins had been so looking forward to begins. Just as we'd discussed at the tea party, the food we'll harvest, sure enough, includes corn and watermelon as the main features. Apparently, we'll also be gathering eggplants, onions, and bell peppers. They'll then be served as accompaniments at tonight's barbecue. Since the theme is giving thanks for all of our food and appreciating the value of life, I'm sure it's fine if there's some meat included in the meal. I look over at the Sasakis, who are gathering eggplants and peppers.
私もあっちの方が良かったな。
はい、どうしました？
Sister Basquiat overhears my muttering. Even under the burning rays of the summer sun, her refreshing smile never falters.
あ、いえ、食べるのが楽しみだなって。
そうね。私も収穫祭はいつ
も楽しみにしているのよ。
Out of the corner of my eye, I can see her bashfully pressing her hand to her cheek as I watch the laughing Sasaki sisters harvest eggplants using their pruning shears.
あっちは楽そうでいいよな。
While I got roped into accompanying Sister Basquiat into harvesting the corn.
これ意外と重労働ですよね。
To harvest the corn, you have to hold each ear up by the tassel and snap it off from the stalk. It leaves a lot. It takes a lot of strength. I end up really straining myself each time I attempt it, while Sister Basquiat, who is much stronger than she looks, is breaking them off with ease.
コツをつかめばそうでもないのよ。それはダメ。もう一つ隣のものをもぎってちょうだい。
順番に収穫していくんじゃないんですか？
旬になったかそうでないかの見分け方があるの。実の上の毛が茶色くなっていたら収穫時期なのよ。
I lived out way out in the sticks at one point for about 5 years when I was growing up, and we had a big ass cornfield behind, like in our big ass backyard. It was like all the way back, and that thing stretched out for what seemed like miles. And I don't remember ever getting any damn corn out of it. I know that a bunch of corn grew there, but I know I never got any of it. I don't know who owned it, but I know that like we owned the house. Like we were renting the house, but like the cornfield in the back of the yard was like not ours. Obviously, I don't think you get to rent a cornfield.
へえ、そういう見分け方があるんですね。
I nod and reach for the ear with the brown tassel. I can't snap it off without really putting all of my strength into it, including my core muscles. The huge ear of corn comes off in my hand with a satisfying crunch. I suppose this is kind of fun.
ちゃんとやっているわね。
She peers down at the corn in my hands, which I'd been about to peel and husk from.
お、サボりかい？
違うわ。みんなが遊んでいないか見回っているのよ。ダリア先生、ごきげんよう。
I keep an eye on the two of them as I peel the leaves from the corn cob.
あら、虫に食べられちゃったのかしら。
粒が歯抜けになっちまってるな。
I've been told that it was ready to harvest, but here we are. Noticing my look, Sister Basquiat flaps her hands around, her cheeks flushing.
これは仕方がないことなのよ。これは虫が食べたのではなく、受粉させるのを誤ってしまった結果なの。
受粉？
Sasaki would probably have something to say about that sounding naughty. However, while her cheeks are still red, Sister Basquiat points to the corn in my hands with a serious expression.
遊穂が開花したら、その穂を切り取って子穂に直接花粉をつけ受粉させるの。
That's so naughty! You can't teach that at a Christian school!
この時、上手にやらないと、八重垣さんが持ったトウモロコシのように粒が均等でない歯抜けのような状態になってしまうのよ。
そうなんですか。お家でいただいた時にたまに粒が揃ってない不揃いなものがあったけれど、それって受粉に失敗したものだったのね。
The president nods admiringly, her braids shaking.
意外だな。
何が？
委員長の家はいいとこっぽいから、粒が揃ってないトウモロコシなんて食べたことがないと思ったぜ。
祖母が家庭菜園をしていたから知っているの。夏はよくいただいたわ。
I'd always had this image of her as being even more of a proper young lady than Shirahane, but all this makes her seem slightly more accessible.
もったいないからこれはこれで収穫しておこうか。
There you go. Ain't gonna hurt nothing. I pop it into the basket. After all, it's not like it's inedible.
八重垣さんは収穫祭の意義を理解しているわね。
単に貧乏症なだけってのもある。
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's just kind of more frugal about this kind of thing. I'm deeply reluctant to throw away anything that can still be eaten.
ほら、こっちの食べ頃みたいよ。
She points to a particularly large ear of corn. However, the beard-like tassel hasn't yet turned brown. It's still very green.
私のところはいいから他の奴らのところを
Go
見
do
回って
something else. You're not good at this.
私も八重垣さんと収穫祭を楽しみたいのに。
Man, I really need to get some tomatoes and cantaloupe planted. If those things are actually if I'm gonna have my own little harvest festival, I need to do something about that this week, I think. Now that I'm thinking about it. But we still have we still have like one small spate of cold weather coming through, so maybe I'll wait like another week. Nobody's gonna care about this shit. Why am I talking about it?
こっちは2人で十分だよ。見回りするならそうだな。
I look around at my classmates.
最近一緒にいやがるな。
You know where to point her. I spot Takasaki and Shirahane picking bell peppers nearby. They give off the impression that they're getting along like a house on fire, but
どうしたの？
白羽のところにでも見回りに行ったらどうだ？
she falters when she sees Takasaki working beside. You gotta get over this, girl. You are the class president. Also, it's making things really weird for everybody if you don't like someone. Y'all need to, we need to set these two down in a room and have them hash it out. Come on, Erika and Chidori are getting along, so you can make this work. Like, if Erika's willing to make it work, come on now.
苦手意識があるのは知っているけどな。顔を出しとかないとお前の元カノ取られちゃう。
Oh, there you go. There you go. That's how you lay it on.
元カノってもう。
Flushing crimson to the tips of her ears, she stares at me and Sister Basquiat, who is regarding us curiously. She fiddles agitatedly with her braids, then
行ってくるわ。
I'm just gonna go over and have a look. It's not like I want to talk to him or anything. She obediently heads over to Shirahane. It's not because she thinks she's in danger of having her Amitié partner stolen.
またぞろ。心ない言葉で白羽が傷つかない。
I mean, that's
心配なんだ。
okay. That's actually, you know, it's pretty. That could happen. I watched the president stride over to the two girls. Quite honestly.
どうにも気になるな。
さあ収穫を続けましょう。
I nod to Sister Basquiat and scratch my head, feeling somewhat gloomy about the dark clouds I sensed hanging over Shirahane.
聖書の中に収穫祭のことが記されています。
It does? Sister Basquiat's voice sounds out over the allotments once we've finished harvesting all the vegetables.
出エジプト記23章16節にて主がモーセに仰せになりました。あなたが畑に種をまいていた
You
勤
know,
労の初穂の借り入れの祭りと
seeing this text thing here, see, there's a colon here. You know, we've used this to separate the chapter and verse. But anytime time comes up, like 7:30 or something, they never use it for that. And it could just very well be like a localization / that's just how, you know, it is in Japan. In the original text, it's fine. You know, it's fine. You can still read the time just fine. But the fact that it's just like, this was a localization, and I figured that they would have kind of just, you know, added the colon between the numbers in time. I'm nitpicking.
年の終わりにはあなたの勤労の実を畑から取り入れる収穫祭を行わなければならないと。
With the strong rays of the midday sun beaming down on her, she continues her sermon on the meaning of the Harvest Festival in a lilting, resonant voice. I'm impressed by the way she's able to stand there in the sunlight, addressing us without a single drop of perspiration marring her brow.
いつもは間の抜けた感じなのにな。
何？どうし
And say nothing. I tell the Sasaki sisters, who have taken up positions next to me, to forget it and listen to the sermon, and we all turn our eyes back to Sister Basquiat.
神は荒野の中にいた民に彼らを父と蜜の流れる土地に導き入れられることを約束され、その収穫物を持って主に対して祭りを持つことを命令されました。春には大麦の収穫時期に初穂の祭りを行います。
Seeing her in her religious element and discussing a tangible topic has me listening with great interest to a sermon that I would usually have dismissed as boring.
お腹空いちゃったね。ま、それには同意だ。
As wonderful as a learned sermon from a beautiful woman may be, the scent of the freshly prepared corn is really taunting us. My stomach keeps threatening to growl.
こうして流浪の民は約束の地で主が収穫をもたらしてくださることを認め、主に感謝を捧げ、喜び祝うのです。
十分に主に感謝をしたくなり
Thank
ましたよ。
God for corn!
トウモロコシをこの世に作ってくれて。
In watermelon, yeah, I'm more on team watermelon. I love corn and watermelon, so yeah, I'm kind of here. I'm with both of it. Let's go. The Sasakis, who made sure to come on empty stomachs, as they had promised, are watching Sister Basquiat resentfully as her sermon drags on. I almost let out a snort of laughter and whisper to them to stop. Still, while her spiel is appreciated, I do hope she wraps up soon. My stomach can't take much more of this. I can't stop my lips from curling into a smile when Sister Basquiat finally enters her closing statement.
収穫祭は我々だけでなく、神ご自身が祝福される祭りでもあるのです。
She continues with her epilogue, but as someone who doesn't read religious books, I'm confused as to whether the concept she's talking about is allegorical or not. Then, having finished, Sister Basquiat surveys the students before her.
では、主のお恵みをいただくとしましょう。
Let's! She announces the main event of the festival. That being the matter of enjoying the fruits of our harvest.
あらあら、箸が進んでいませんね。
ん？本当じゃないか。そんなことでは大きくなれん
This
ぞ。
is like the last two she wants to be accosted by.
八代先輩に言われると食べなきゃいけない気分になりますね。
All the school's year groups are mixed together, enjoying the summer crops. There doesn't seem to be any formal division of roles, but some students are cutting the watermelons while others barbecue the corn or volunteer to do prep work. Shirahane and the president are part of this group. And then there's me and the Sasakis, who are specializing in eating the results. Alternating between both the president and vice president of the Council of Nikaya, who for some reason have installed themselves next to me.
確かに譲り葉は大きいわよね。私ももう少し欲しいわ。
へえ、コミカド先輩でもそういうことを思うのですね。
譲り葉はもう少しで170代ですものね。
Damn, that's pretty tall. That's what, like 5'7", 5'8"-ish? Oh, that's what she meant. I regard the two of them. Shirahane is the tallest of all of our year, and she's still only just over 160 centimeters. Isn't Takasaki around the same height? In fact, when it comes to the measurement I was originally thinking of, she's also...
ネリー、八重垣くんが話していたのは背の話ではないよ。
Womanly our bazookas!
話題だよ。
I love her. She just out and out says the things that need to be said.
マスト？
Huh? What do you mean? I'm blonde. I don't get it. Yatsushita-senpai spreads her hands exasperatedly, a piece of watermelon in one.
女子力が足りないんじゃないか？胸の話だよ。マストさ。ねえ、八重垣くん。
まあ、そうだったんですけども。
Perhaps. Kamikado-senpai's skin is so pale you start with her... Kamikado's skin is so pale to start with that her blush is painfully obvious. She hides her face behind the corn on the cob she's been nibbling on.
こんな明るい場所でそんなハレンチな話をして。
In front of the Lord's feast, mind you!
いいじゃないか。胸筋を開いて話をすることに
That's a
憧れ
good
て。
point.
女子力とハレンチって会話で初めて聞いたぞ。
I tell Komikado Senpai, her cheeks still red with embarrassment, that I'm envious of her.
八重垣さん、もういじめないで。
この中で一番大きいのはネリーだからな。
Got
自
it!
慢して
Blown
おし
it!
まいよ。そういえば
Takasaki-kun could give you a run for your money, she says, looking in her direction.
そういえばそうですね。
Just girls standing around talking about tits on the Lord's Day. What do you mean? It's fine. Since it didn't exactly interest me, I hadn't really noticed. Thinking about it though, hers might actually be bigger than Shirahane's.
だとするとクラス1か。
Even more reasons to dislike her! My gaze naturally wanders down to my own little houses on the... Little houses on the prairie, huh? Instead of sighing, I bite into my boiled corn on the cob. At least I can be thankful for this sweet bounty.
高崎さんはどこに？
確か
I look around and spot her next to the Sasakis, single-mindedly chowing down on some corn. She seems to like it enough to add it to her notebook.
食べるのに専念してますよ。コミカド先輩は
When I turn back to ask her my question... What?
じっとして。
What? I find myself paralyzed as she leans in close to me. Not literally, of course.
まつげが頬に。
Oh.
さあ、願い事をかけて。
Oh, yeah! Like, yeah. If you ever, like, if you grab an eyelash, like, on your finger, you, like, blow it, you make a wish.
あの
まつげのおまじないってやつさ。どうぞ、お姫様。
Oh, princess. Not having much choice in the matter, I repeat a Buddhist mantra to myself and think about what to wish for.
ふーってまつげを飛ばすの。
I do as I'm told and blow the eyelash resting on Komikado Senpai's fingertip.
これで願い事が叶った。
Boy, I wish that were true. She smiles at me.
ごめんなさい。驚いたかしら。
いえ昔映画で見たことがありますからまさか自分でやるとは思っていませんでしたけどね。
Look at her blushing.
抜けた乳歯を枕の下に入れておくと妖精が来てコイン
You put it under your... Yeah, the tooth
似
fairy.
た属性の一つだね。
歯の妖精ですね。うちでは昔ながらの縁側や屋根の上に投げてってやつでしたけどね。
It always impresses me how different people's upbringing can be when they're not fully Japanese. Yatsushiro Senpai speedily devours her watermelon, then picks up another piece.
そっちの方が僕には興味があったな。ん？あ、ダメか。歯の生え変わりの頃は。
Oh, that'd be weird.
住まいだったもんな。
That'd be a little weird. Although I'm concerned about the gloomy look that falls over her face in that moment, I steer the conversation toward Komikado Senpai, who's nibbling on her barbecued corn like a cute little squirrel.
迷信つながりですが、七不思議の新しい話は分かりましたか？
Oh shit! They're back!
七不思議？そうね。以前話題に上がってたからまた調べてみたの。
Yep, the Bloody Mary, the Wandering Wendigo, the Shapeshifter of the Dorms, and the Goddess of Truth. The Goddess of Truth. That ridiculous superstition had nevertheless proven true exactly as prophesized.
実はね、新しい七不
Another
思
one
議
of the
なんだけど
mysteries?
それは壁神の。
ちょっといいかしら。
Oh, hello. The sudden hand on my shoulder in the middle of talking about the seven mysteries sends an icy shock through me.
なん
Hey,
だよ。
how's it
お
going?
前から話しかけてくるなんて珍しいじゃないか。
I feel strangely uncomfortable under my Amitie partner's intense stare.
あら、高崎さんもご一緒にどうかしら。
いえ、アミティエに話があるので。
Oh, we gonna have private time? She flatly turns down Komikado Senpai's invitation, then grips the handles of my chair and takes us somewhere private. I didn't even get to say goodbye. She's just like, yo, we're out of here.
もしかして 今から口を塞が
So
れる
no one can hear me scream.
どうせなら森より海が見える場所がいい。
Finally, having found a suitably quiet place, she stops, then turns around to face me.
あなたは鈍感だから気づいていないでしょうけど、
あ
Aw.
彼女無理をしているように思えるわ。
I'm sure she's waiting for me to make a joke, but given who she's referring to,
まさかお前から忠告されるとはね。
I'd been meaning to talk to her sometime soon, but it looks like sometime soon has become now. With a wave to my amitié partner, I direct my wheelchair over to her.
ここでいい。
Now that she's done pushing my wheelchair, I can finally look back up into her clear gaze. Feeling somewhat criticized, I wrest my gaze away and call out to the girl who's staring at the rabbits with a small degree of
知っ
intensity.
てるか？トマトって8000種類もあるん
That's
だ
so many tomatoes, and I want to eat them all because tomatoes are one of my favorite veggies. Fruits. Veggie fruits.
ああ、最近やたらと勧められるから知ったんだけどな。
This is a great icebreaker. I'm gonna start using tomatoes as my lead-in when I'm trying to talk to somebody about serious issues. Her long and enviably lustrous hair stirs in the breeze, and she smooths it back down with her hand.
どうにも切り出しにくいな。
I'm sure that plenty of people have tried to talk about it with her before me, but in the end, everyone's decided to keep their mouths shut and wait for time to pass.
どうしたの、八重垣さん。
Shirahane continues to hold back her hair, giving me a glimpse of the undisguisable sorrow in her eyes. Her grief shines through. Her grief shines through no matter how hard she tries to conceal it. It's obviously very acute, and I can see that even more plainly now that I'm trying to speak with her about it directly.
佐々木姉妹、イチゴとリンゴだったか。あいつら楽しそうだったな。収穫祭なんて初めてだってよ。
そうね、微笑ましかったわ。
ああ、私も存外に楽しかったよ。ま、上級生に囲まれて鬱陶しくはあったが。
Yeah, they can be a bit much. We talked about titties, though. Shirahane jokingly tells me I'm being mean when she hears my crack at Komikado-senpai and Yatsushiro-senpai. Even if she's smiling, her smile doesn't reach her eyes, and the empty gesture just depresses me.
私もそうだった。この学園に入ってから何でも初めては楽しいものだわ。
Girl, it's okay to admit you're a wreck right now.
でも、今のお前は楽しそうじゃない。
Those words are the cue, and a tense silence stretches out between us. Neither of us wants the other to say anything.
そんなことないわ。楽しんでいるわよ。とっても美味しかったし。
自分は焼いてばっかりだったろうが、口をつける気なんてなかったんだろう。
She averts her gaze, turning back to the rabbit pen. While she's not looking, I take a deep breath to psych myself up.
お前も知っているだろうが、私は嘘をつくのが得意でね。だから相手の嘘も見抜けるんだ。
It's a good point.
なあ白羽、お前光作が学院を去ったことから立ち直っていないんだろう。
Gathering my courage, I finally manage to get the words out. Shirahane narrows her eyes as though in real pain before smiling at me again.
違うわ、八重垣さん。私はもう彼女のことは忘れて。
You are so bad at this! You are so unbelievably bad at this!
そうかい。
そうよ。
She's smiling bravely, but all I see is a little girl trying not to cry.
人間の価値は絶望的な敗北に直面していかに振る舞うかにかかっている。
Although she looks confused, my bookworm buddy answers with Hemingway. I bring my wheelchair closer so that my words might better reach her.
お前の振る舞いは大人だよ。塔が立った女が言う分には異論はない。
There you go. That's real important to remember.
私たちはまだ子供なんだ。
Something I'm actually really like, happy that the game kind of acknowledges, because I feel like a lot of games, they try to write high school kids and they like never really feel like kids, but I feel like a lot of what goes on in this series feels very like, for the most part, like, feels like a pretty authentic representation of teenagers dealing with some, you know, some real heavy shit for the first time.
ああ、物分かりが良すぎる。子供のようにダダをこねたっていいんだ。だってなんだ、高坂が戻ってこないか。だから無駄だってのか。
そうよ。だから私は
黙って口を塞ぎ忘れるか。悪いがそいつは悪手だぞ。
Let her have it. I'm getting worked up. She stares at me, her eyes threatening to swallow me whole. I soften my tone, like I'm dealing with a child on the verge of breaking down.
だってお前があいつを忘れられるわけがないだろ。
I go on to tell her about the scene I witnessed at the Feast of the Assumption when they performed the Tota Plukra together with Shirahane on the piano. I tell her that I saw then what was between them, how they understood one another. Shirahane's shoulders tremble as she listens to my speech, then...
なんで私に黙って消えてしまったの？
She finally bears her true feelings.
だよな。やっぱり納得なんかできないんだよ。理由も言わずに消えたんだろう。な。
She's crying now. I smile at her. That smile, people say, is like a cat's.
だったら真相を暴いてみないか。
暴く？真相って？
前にも言ったが、ゲイリー・クーパーだ。真昼の決闘だよ。白か黒か。
Okay, I know I just literally said 2 minutes ago that there's a lot of authenticity behind how I feel that these characters often feel like children, but I don't see children making fucking Gary Cooper references.
理由を知ろうというの？
そうだ。何も言わず消えたから気になるのさ。訳を知ったら本当に忘れたくなるようなくだらない理由かもしれないぜ。
That's a good point. Like, this could just be something that's just so incredibly stupid that it, like, okay, fine. If it is something stupid, it'll be so much easier to just get on with your life. But if you just sit here torturing yourself over it, you know.
エリカさん。
At long last, she shows me a real smile.
私、マユリがなぜ学院を去ったのか。
There you go. Let's get you on the right track. Let's get you back up on your feet and going again.
ああ、物足りないだろうが、泣くなら私の胸を貸してやるよ。
ありがとう。
She whispers her gratitude and wipes away her tears. I smile at the rabbits, who are watching us with startled expressions on their little faces. I guess it was worth making that wish on my eyelash. Oh, you're such a precious baby. Precious, precious Erika Yaigaki. And with that, we're at the end of another chapter. Look at us go! We're cruising on through. There's a story in Grimm's Fairy Tales called Rapunzel. A couple who have been childless for many years are finally blessed with a baby. However, the pregnant woman is fussy about her food and begs for the vegetable called Rapunzel that grows in a nearby witch's garden. The husband hears her request and sneaks into the garden to steal it, but he's caught by the witch and agrees that in exchange for the Rapunzel, she can have their child when it is born. As promised, the witch takes the child when she's born and locks her away in a tall tower in the middle of a forest. The years pass.
長い月日が経ち、偶然森の
Until
中を
one
歩い
day,
て
a
いた
prince
王
is
子が
walking through the forest and drawn in by her singing, discovers Rapunzel. The two fall in love and continue to meet in secret until Rapunzel falls pregnant.
やがて愛し合い、彼女は妊娠する。事実を知った魔女は
Upon learning the
怒り、
truth, the witch flies into a rage and cuts off all of Rapunzel's hair before throwing her out into the wilderness, unaware of what has transpired when the prince next comes to visit.
魔女から罵
The
られ
witch curses at him, and learning of what has transpired, he falls into a deep despair. He throws himself from the tower, ending up blind.
物語は
The story ends with the blind prince wandering the forest until he meets Rapunzel again. By some miracle, his sight is restored, and they return to his kingdom to live happily ever after.
末永く幸せに暮らしましたで終わる。だが私に
But
は
one aspect of the story doesn't ring true to me.
腑に落ちなかったことがある。他の教訓を
Unlike other fables that serve as moral lessons, Rapunzel doesn't center on a virtuous hero or heroine who prevails over some great hardship.
という話ではないからだ。夫婦は願い
The couple paid for their wish and the witch for her bargain, yet
しかし
Rapunzel
ラプ
gave
ン
up
ツェルだけ
nothing.
は何の代償もなかった。労苦を味わった
Sure, she experienced her fair share of suffering, but didn't she only have herself to blame for it in the first place?
これから始
The
まる
story
物
that
語
begins now is that of another fool who tries to realize their wish without paying the price.
道化者のお話。
And fittingly, the third chapter is called Rapunzel. And we'll find out about what all that means the next time we're together. So, bop on out back here to the title. All right. That was a lovely little episode. We had so much happen there. We got like a study session. We had exams. We got a great, like the study session, massage session was fantastic. We had a harvest festival. And it seems like we've kind of started to put Suo on the right track toward the right mindset that she's gonna need if she's gonna like find out the truth of what happened to Mayuri. You can't just like sit around and be sad about it all the time. You gotta get up and you gotta at least try, I suppose. So maybe that's what she's finally gonna do. Maybe Erika has finally given her the kickstart she needs. But yeah, that's gonna do it for now. As always, I'd like to thank you for stopping by, and I hope you have a nice rest of whatever it is, wherever you are. Bye!